So Axios earlier this week reported that the Biden camp is looking at $1 trillion in stimulus right out the gate in January if he is elected. Why is that justified? And do today's jobs numbers make you rethink that?
Well, first of all, I wouldn't confirm that number. I think that's going to have to be a time-sensitive kind of decision based on economic conditions if Biden is lucky, if America, in my opinion, is lucky enough for Biden to win the election. But yes, I'm almost certain that there'll need to be another fiscal package because we will be far from full employment in January, no matter what happens between now and then. We saw definitely a worthy decline in the unemployment rate today from 10.2 to 8.4%. But we also saw a shift from more people into permanent and long-term unemployment. That's problematic. We also saw, and I think this may be even more important, a deceleration in the pace of job gains. In May and June, we were adding 4 million jobs per month. In July and August, I'm talking private sector, it's about 1.3 million. So a downshifting of about 2/3 in the pace of job gain.
So if we stay at this rate, though, where we're at currently, even acknowledging that it has slowed in recent months, we would still have lost a net, call it 7-8 million jobs by the time you would expect the vice president to take office if he were elected. But he has made no secret about wanting to raise taxes on Americans who make more than $400,000 and remove a slew of what he believes are loopholes. But don't you think that raising taxes at a time so tenuous in the economic cycle would have a detrimental effect? How would that work?
Well, I don't think that you can assume that to be the case, the detrimental effect, when you're talking about people who are not liquidity constrained, so people with over 400,000. And if you look at his capital gains proposal to raise taxes on capital gains, that doesn't kick in until over $1 million. So we're not talking about people who are necessarily going to cut back spending. That said, I do think it's important to be wary of the timing when you're talking about the kinds of pay-for agendas that Vice President Biden is very committed to. He has a recovery agenda, which really helps to kind of get back to this business of building a fiscal bridge to the other side of the crisis, something that Congress, Senate Republicans in particular, have dropped the ball on. But he also has this permanent Building Back Better agenda, investment in clean energy, in childcare, in helping to promote racial equity, in manufacturing jobs, and onshoring jobs that have been lost. That's a more permanent agenda, and that will require pay-fors.
Hi, Jared. It's Sarah. I do feel like President Trump, though, scores points on the economy. The market has showed a V-shaped recovery. I know the market's not the economy, but there is a lot of optimism, and there are sectors of this economy that are showing a V, like housing, like auto spending. The jobs improvement is notable, and it is strong. And when the president campaigns on lower taxes and fewer regulations, and when Biden campaigns on higher taxes and more regulations, the president does get points for that growth story.
There's a lot to unpack there. First of all, let us make no mistake. I started out applauding the decline in the unemployment rate today, but this is a recessionary job market. There's an 11.5 million hole in payrolls, and the unemployment rate at 8.4%, that's a recessionary rate. So let's be clear about that. Now, you are right. The stock market is not the economy, and the stock market, in fact, over half of the value of the stock market is held by the top 1%. Do you know how much value in the stock market the bottom 50% of households hold? Less than 1%, 0.7%. So, yeah, this may look like a V-shaped recovery for some groups, but for others, it's much more of a K-shape. I guess the way I would put it is that the stock market is up, and so is hunger, and so are evictions, and so are deep concerns about whether people are going to be able to make it through to the other side of this crisis. And again, Biden's recovery package is, I think, essential in that regard, not just on the economic front, but also in controlling the virus, which is the epic fail of the Trump administration, and I believe responsible for the deceleration in job gain.